This is episode 8 of MYRigs. Alright, now first up we have this setup by Mike. Now the first thing I was thinking inside my head when I saw his setup was, holy shit, what does he actually do with his PC? Alright, I'm just going to quickly jump into his specs just first before we even get into all his peripherals and all his little accessories and stuff like that, because there are absolutely a ton of them. Now Mike's using an i7 5930K processor that has been overclocked to 4.6 GHz on his Asus ROG Rampage 5 Extreme motherboard. Now just look at how his RAM looks like, man. That's the Corsair Dominator Pro DDR4 at 3200 MHz, and it's like what, 8 by 4 GB, and that's pretty damn expensive, man. Now that's not even the best part just yet. Now Mike's running in SLI Nvidia Titan X Pascal that has been overclocked to 2050 MHz at 11 GHz worth of memory. Now a PC like this can never go without a pretty damn good looking liquid cooling system. Now Mike's using a good mix of Bitspower stuff alongside some EKWB stuff as well. Now I'm not gonna talk about all his entire liquid cooling stuff right here. I'm just gonna leave all the specs or all the stuff in the description section below for you to check it out. Mana lah tahu kalau you guys teringin nak buat and stuff like that, right? You can refer it in the description section below. Now here's the thing, that here's exactly like what I feel about this whole setup. Now without a doubt that this PC performs and can play any games in the world today, can do absolutely anything, man. It can render in like a split second and stuff like that. But given the fact that he spent a lot of money on it, somehow this whole setup doesn't seem right. Now I know he's like a big fan of Razer and stuff like that. It's pretty obvious from the whole setup, you know, from his Optweaver chroma, from his keyboard, from the Razer speaker and the green light scheme and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure he's done a lot of stuff on his Phantom 820 case. But here's another theory though, he could be a big fan of Nvidia because it's pretty much a similar color scheme as Razer as well. So it's either he's a big fan of Nvidia or he's a big fan of Razer. Now just to also add on though, he's a big fan of fighting games in Malaysia, but obviously it's a dying interest in Malaysia. He has the Mad Catz Arcade Fight Stick Tournament Edition for Xbox One. He even has the Razer Atrox Fight Stick for PC, and of course the Mad Catz Street Fighter 5 Arcade Fight Stick Tournament Edition 2 for the PS4. I can't really say much on cable management as well though, because I can't actually see the cable, so I would say cable management is pretty on point. But given the fact with the amount of money that you've spent, if you were to give me the money, I would have done something a bit more different. Maybe in terms of specs, I would probably change it as well. I wouldn't probably use SLI. I'll probably use a single graphics card and probably up my processor game, you know. Even his seats are the DX Racer seats, man, with an additional Sapphire M.2 system that apparently provides rumble when running games on consoles and on PC. So I would say it's a pretty all-rounder kind of setup. You can do productivity stuff, you can play games, you can play consoles and stuff like that. But you know what, I like to create a simple point of discussion here in the comment section below. You know, let me know what you think about this setup specifically. There is nothing against this setup. I personally do not have anything against this setup. It's just more of what I would actually do if I had the same amount of money. Well, anyway, thank you so much for joining, Mike. Your rig does look pretty awesomely expensive. Alright, now up next we have this setup by Syafiq. Now Syafiq's using an i3 6100 processor, which is on the Asus H110M-D motherboard. His graphics card is the Sapphire Nitro Rx460 graphics card, which is the 4GB version, and apparently he DIY'd his own backplate, and that's pretty damn impressive. Now I sort of like this whole setup simply because it does look a bit minimalistic, it does look really neat, it does look really simple, and I like the fact there's a bit of this sound padding right there, which is also black, which sort of matches the entire color scheme of his whole setup area, you know. Cable management does seem pretty on point as well. I like how he managed to sort out those cables and stuff like that. I can see some effort right there, so good stuff, Syafiq, and thank you so much for joining. Now finally we have this setup by Taufik. Now Taufik actually sent his setup a couple of episodes ago, and I sort of featured him as well. At the same time, I sort of gave him some comments too when it comes to his whole cable management, when it comes to his whole arrangement and stuff like that, which he actually did purchase the IKEA Signum, and the cable management looks way better right now. Good stuff, Syafiq, and the table does look pretty damn good as well. So just to recap, Taufik's using an i5 4460 processor on the B85 SRock Fatality Killer motherboard. His GPU is the Zotac GTX 970 AMP Extreme Core version, which is still a pretty damn decent graphics card today. Now all of this is being stored inside the NZXT S340 case with some LED strips around the table and stuff like that, just to make things look a little bit better. Now obviously there are a bit more, or I would say a ton more of stuff that he can actually improve in terms of his setup, but you know what, the first thing that I would actually recommend is for you to get a headphone stand, because that water bottle is just not gonna cut it, man. And of course I'm going to leave all the entire setup list and parts and stuff like that in the description section below. So which one of these three rigs are your preference now? Do you like Mike's really expensive rig, or do you prefer Syafiq's rig, or do you prefer Taufik's rig? Now let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, that's all I have for this video. Now give me a big thumbs up if you like this video. Now if you dislike this video, give me a big thumbs down, but let me know why in the comment section below. I'm going to leave some description of all their specs and everything else else in the description section below for you to check it out. Now hit the subscribe button if you have not. And if you have anything else to email me or you want to be featured in the next episode for absolutely free, you can email me at mindgamebestkiller@gmail.com. It simply means playing games are awesome, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.